Good evening, dear viewers. Yes, we are live. Let me just. Dear viewers, yes, we are live. Let me just. Nice. Good evening, everyone. Please be active in our live chat. If you have any questions, anything, you can leave your messages. And today we will cover fifth round of Chess Olympiad. Yes, I will just. We are having Azerbaijan, India, Azerbaijan, and we see that Bukesh is completely winning. It's more than plus three for white. Yes, simply white is having rook and two pawns for the two minor pieces, and we see that bishop on b6 is completely out of the game because of white's pawn chain, um, and especially this b2 c3 pawns. Yes, Prague is slightly better with the black pieces against Nijat Abbasov. Um, Arjun Erigaisi doesn't have much against Rauf Mamedov, but he's ahead on clock. And we see that on uh, fourth board, Shahriar Mamediarov and against Gidit, I apologize, against Vidit, position is around equal. Yes, if you take on d7, then queen f3 comes. I guess some queen c4 or queen b3 will follow. Otherwise, bishop can uh, come to c6. And then we see Hungary, Ukraine. We see that Mr. Ivanchuk is in trouble. We see that Sanan Sugirov is being slightly better. We see that Anton Korobov as well being in some trouble, and we see that Vladimir Onishuk is being slightly better. Yes, what has happened here? Yes, I saw this position, and here we see that queen f6 is the strongest. Short castle knight c6, rook c4, and white is better. So queen b5, and here Ivanchuk did not play bishop h6, which would give white some advantage. Not only rook is hanging, also white is threatening bishop takes f7 ideas. a4, knight d3, king d2, and here probably Ivanchuk underestimated black's counterplay. So now black is threatening some knight c5, and yes, white is in huge trouble. Unfortunately for Ivanchuk, is in trouble. Yes, earlier Anton Korobov was better. So we see French, d takes c4, knight e4, knight e7, knight f3, knight f6, takes, Bishop d3. Another option is being, of course, here to go bishop d3. Here bishop g5 is an option. Oh, I guess here bishop g5, h6. Yes, bishop g5, bishop d3, knight f6, takes. Bishop d3, c5, bishop e3, queen e2. Yes, and white could go bishop f4, but Anton did not play it. And slowly Ferenc Berkes got more than decent position. Yes, bishop f6 would have been stronger. And here e4 was possible. And now black should play bishop c6 and black is much better. And wow, queen b7. What did I guess queen f5 just finishes the game, maybe? Vidit is being so Mamedyarov did not play the strongest move, and now I assume queen f5 is very unpleasant move because now I'm threatening bishop d5, and I don't see how can you stop it. Yes, queen f5. Game is almost over. Wow, it was very interesting fight. So d4 takes. Knight d4 maybe would have been stronger. Rook d1. Knight d1 attacking the pawn on d5. Black is sacrificing on d5, getting some activity. And bishop d4. Very interesting move. Taking with the king and taking with the rook and taking with the knight. Yes, if white would have king on g1, pawn on g2, and the other pawn on h3 or even on h2, what white would have some pressure, but here white's king is quite exposed and along light squares king is very vulnerable. But so far Mamedyarov managed to find a couple of good moves. Even taking with the rook is enough to force a draw. Queen f3, king h3, and you cannot really take on f2. Maybe even you can, but I'm having a lot of checks. Yes, but queen f5, I don't have. Ah, but queen f5, rook a8, bishop d5, takes, queen b8, queen f4, and I guess you just go some queen. Maybe. Mm, I'm sure that Vidit will play queen f5, but I'm not sure that win is so easy to figure out. Like queen f5, rook goes a8, queen h3, king g1, bishop d5. I just take. You don't have queen f8. d5 is hanging. King f8. I go queen b8. Worst scenario, I am having. So you should play king f7. Otherwise, if you go king g7, I guess there is queen f5, queen e5 check. Let's say you go king f7. And the problem is being you go king f7, I go queen f4, the only move. And now the problem is being that you just go e5. I guess this is very important line. Let's say you go this, you are threatening bishop d5, rook a8, you go bishop d5, I take here, you take with the king, I go this check, you go king f7, queen f4 is the only move, and now you just go something like e5. So now if queen takes f5, g takes f, black is just winning. So only move is queen e3. But I can just play any other move as well. Like, for example, I can just go h5 even. Because if you take queen f5, g takes f, and later on you cannot really unpin um, your knight. Yes, I think it's anyway better to go queen f5, even if you don't see the win. But of course, by going queen f5, you are securing yourself from losing this game, and you are maybe theoretically getting some hopes. And this is like very, very bad sign for Azerbaijan and very good sign for uh, India. Yes, Queen f5 has been played, no doubts. Such a strong player like Vidit. And Rook c4 has been played, but this engine wasn't even showing this. I guess some Rook d8 move is quite unpleasant, maybe. Ah, surprisingly, no, Rook c4 is the strongest. And one of the rooks to d8. Somehow I have this feeling that Rapport will win this game since this fight position is complicated. Rapport has around 20, 37 minutes and Mr. Ivanchuk has only 7 minutes in this very sharp position. I think maybe they will just end in a draw by going rook d7, rook f7, rook d8. Somehow I don't believe Sugero will try, going a5, a6, going b4. Yes, he can, but somehow I think rook d7 is just rook f7 and then you go rook d8, rook f8, rook d7 back. And Ferenc Berkes did not find, because I'm sure he saw it, but he did not play bishop c6. So we are having one game ended, two games actually ended in China, Spain. We are having Paco Vallejo or Vallejo against Yu Yangyi, game ended in a draw. And we see Bu Jaime Santos Latasa game ended in a draw. We see that two other games are still uh, running, and we see that in both games position is around equal. I'm expecting Alexei Shirovding the rank game to end in a draw, and maybe Vei can try, but since yes, it seems very equal. So Poland, Vietnam, we are having wow, wow, and now Nguyen with the black pieces. He won yesterday against Nodirbek Yakuboev, and today he is much, much better against Radoslav Wojtaszek, most likely Le Quang, Liem, Jan Christoph Duda will end in a draw. So black is being better in Wojtaszek Nguyen game. And then we are having Simon against Tuan Min Tran. He is having much better position, close to winning. We see that Norway against Turkey, Magnus is playing on board one. Position is very sharp. Hard um, to say who is better and why. Yes, but I like that Magnus has around more than 10 minutes more than Yilmaz has. Johann Sebastian is being much better against young prodigy from Turkey, Edis Gurel. We see that another prodigy, Erdogmus, is having around equal position against Ariantari, and Sanal Wahab is in huge trouble against Frode Olaf Urkedal. We see that Parham is much better. We see that Amin Tabatabai is also better. We see that Bardya Daneshwar is also doing better. And we see that uh, yes, Idani is also doing better. So it is very likely that Iran will crush Canada. We see that Fernando Peralta is having around equal position against Fabi. We see that Leandro Grisa against Wesley So with the black pieces, he is doing fine. I should say that I had opportunity to play for the same club uh, with Leandro Grisa. We are teammates in Portuguese league. Yes, but I don't like his being behind on clock, and which somehow somewhere you will definitely feel. Diego Flores doesn't have anything with the white pieces against Linier Dominguez. Linier is doing great. And Levon Aronian is already having a better position, much better position against Thomas Sosa. Earlier it was complicated and slightly preferable for Sosa. And we see that Moldova Uzbekistan, one game ended in a draw. Yegor Lashkin drew his game against yes, I apologize. Let me just cut my. Yes, it was very sharp game. Slav with bishop e2. Oh, definitely Nodirbek knew this line. And here takes bishop f3, queen g5, bishop g7 and knight d4. And here Nodirbek did not find queen h4 move. And we see that game ended in a draw by move repetition. Yes, we see that rook a8. I guess king f7 or king g7. With it is trying to find a win. Position is winning. He doesn't have much time, but I think what he has should be enough, at least not to lose the game. Because if he wants after king f7 or king g7, king f7, let's say queen f4 takes, bishop takes a2, and like does not have any risks. And we see that Sanan Sugirov decided not to repeat. He goes b4, and rook a d8 has been played in Ivanchuk rapport game, and Ivanchuk is having only 4 minutes and he goes bishop e5 and he blunders something. I'm not exactly sure what he blunders. Because e6, queen f6, rook d5, king e4, and queen c2. Yes, e6 is one of the options. Knight e7 does not work. We see that Ferenc Berkes is doing slightly better. Yes, Frode Olaf Urkedal is being completely winning. Yes, Viktor Bologan is being in some trouble, but anyway, uh, Javohir Sindarov is only having 12 minutes. And if you watched my uh, today's recap or um, highlights of another round, I was recommending to let Pohidov uh, play all the remaining games. And now we see that with the black pieces, he is being winning already against Viorel Iordachescu. Very important game for the whole match, since at the moment in all boards we can see unclear positions. Yes, Cuba is playing Netherlands. I already played against Carlos Albornoz this year in French team championship, and with the black pieces I managed to win. He is very good in openings, and we can see that he is having around equal position. Jordan Van Forest is being much better, close to winning against Luis Quesada, and Max Warmerdam is in some trouble, and Erwin is also being completely winning. We see that again Montenegro does great in many boards. For example, Vincent Gamer, I apologize, is completely lost. Maybe even evaluation is close to +4 or maybe than that. Yes, it's like +5. But I should say that yesterday Kadric also had a completely winning position or very promising position against Aydin Suleimanli, and he blundered. So second board, and we see that Dmitry Kolars is playing Nikita Petrov. Kolars is in trouble, but still White is also having some activity. And board 4, Svane Frederick is playing Luka Draškovic. White is being better, but probably not much. Let's see the it's 0. Like earlier, maybe it was even less. Yes, rook takes b2 was possible. Yes. I think white is tiny better, but maybe because of time being ahead on clock, Luka can equalize. Let's move to other matches. We see that Australia is playing England. Board 1, Vidyugov, Guibokarov around equal position. Board 2, Bobby Cheng is slightly better against David Howell. Board 3, Michael Adams is completely winning. And board 4, Jones Gwain is also being much, much better. So France against Switzerland, Maxime Vacher-Lagrave is much better. Etienne Bacro is having around equal position. Marc Andrea Maurizi is having again around equal position, and Nico Georgiadis is being better against Laurent Fressinet, close to much better. And yes, Brazil is playing against Serbia. Luis Paulo Supi is in some small trouble. Alexander Fier is having a more or less okay position against Alexei Sarana. Robert Marcus doesn't have much problems. And Velimirovic is in huge trouble against Diego Rafael Di Berardino. And we see that Armenia is playing against Sweden. 3 games ended in a draw. Haig Martirosyan was facing with the white pieces against Niels Grondelius. Game ended in a draw. Yes, maybe nowadays Niels little bit dropped his rating, but anyway, he is very decent, strong player. We see that Sean Sarkisian with the black piece drew his game against Eric Blomqvist. Yes, some theoretical line. Yes, not much was happening. So all this is no. And Roberto Vanisian also drew his game. The Milton Panzer. Yes, bishop f5, takes, h4. Yes, I like and I know that modern engines are showing this idea to push the pawn till h6, like Robert knew. Yes, king e2 maybe, or even f4 here. White doesn't take on h7, and black kept the pawn. And here Robert didn't like going king e7, so bishop e7, and they agreed in a draw. So only one game remains, and Gabriel Sarkisian is playing with the white pieces, tiger person, and at the moment, engine doesn't show great for white. Yes, I saw somewhere here, engine was showing c5, queen c2, c takes b, not the easiest decision to go. Gabriel went knight e1, t takes c. b5. And now black is being much better. Still some 11 moves to play. Maybe Gabi will manage to somewhere trick his opponent. But at the moment, much doesn't stand good for our national team. But hopefully it will turn in our favor, or maybe even draw Uh, Finishing the match in a draw will be considered good for our team. So we see Kazakhstan is facing Romania. We see that Bogdan Daniel Deak is in trouble with with the white pieces against Denis Makhnyov. It's not actually much, but slightly preferable for black. We see that Nogerbek Kazibek against Kirill Shevchenko. White is in trouble. We see that Ramazan Jalmakhanov doesn't have much problems against Liviu Diter. And let's see, we see that Aldiar Ansat is being very slightly preferable against Mircea Emilian Parligras. Yes, Colombia against Israel. We see that board one, Roberto Garcia is doing better against Maxim Rothstein. We see that Ido Gorstein, Jose Gabriel Cardoso around equal. We see that Santiago Avila is slightly in trouble, and Evgeny Postny against Esteban Valderrama. Position is around equal. We see that Ivan Cheporinov is being almost winning. Arkady Naidic doesn't have much with the white pieces against Gudmundur Kjartansson. Yes, Martin Petrov has a slightly preferable position with the black pieces against Hannes Stefansson, and Momchil Petkov doesn't have much against Helgi Gvitarsson. Let's move to the top matches, top boards. Uh, and we see that Gukesh is already being completely winning. Nijat Abbasov is doing okay. Earlier he had maybe some small issues, but now he does not have any problems against Prague. Arjun is being already uh, better, and Vidit is being completely winning. But will he be able to see the winning continuations? So in this position, he went e5, of course, queen f5, g takes f, and you can simply resign because white is pinned, and you cannot really unpin yourself. So g5 with the ideas to g4, h3, h5, again threatening g4. Yes, king g6 is not the strongest. And unfortunately, with it doesn't see the winning idea. Of course, no doubts. Shahriar Mamedzarov will play g4. Vidit was winning if he would play. The winning idea was king h7. It's not very easy to understand. Maybe king goes to h6 and then queen goes to g6. It's really very confusing, and especially with only 5 minutes on clock. But no doubts, Shahriar will play g4 and he can still save this game. Yes, Sana Sugirov against Ruslan Ponomarev ended in a draw after a5, rook d7 and rook d8 move repetition has happened. And now we clearly see that Anton Korobov managed to uh, almost equalize the position against Ferenc Berkes. So, and we see that this has happened. So e6, queen f6, rook d5, king e4, rook e5, king takes e5, and this should be completely lost for legendary Vasily Ivanchuk. A couple of precise moves, and one of them can be queen e2, unpleasant move, attacking this rook Yes, yes, like no doubts, Rapport will win this position, and it means that Hungary has all the chances because Benjamin Gledura, whenever he wants, he can kind of achieve a draw, and Rapport is going to win his game. And we see that game between Alexei Shirov and Ding Liren most likely will end in a draw. At the moment, maybe White is having some issues, but I don't think they are serious, and game will end in a draw. And maybe Wei is doing slightly better. It's not much again, but if one of the sides is better, then definitely White with King C3, King B4 ideas. So let's move to other matches. We see that Lekuang Liam doesn't have much against Duda. We see that Radoslav Wojtaszek managed to improve his position a little bit. And we see that Mateusz Bartel is being in some small trouble. But of course, Simon Gyur Mulars is, sorry for not pronouncing correctly, is being completely winning. We see that Johann Sebastian uh, ended in a draw. This was, yes, yes, he was much better, and bishop h3, which is not easy move to play. So h3 has been played, bishop d7, and bishop c6, and now queen g3, and of course not rook takes c6. I assume rook has been played, and players repeat, and game ended in a draw. But we see that Erdogmus is in huge trouble uh, against Tarjarian. We see that Frode Olaf Urkedal is completely winning against San Al Wahab. But we also see that doesn't do well, and especially, let's go from the start. Knight bd7, takes h6, knight f6 maybe. Yes, Magnus had a decent position, and c takes f6 would have been better. Takes. And what did Magnus? Yes, Magnus probably blundered that if he takes bishop c5, knight d7 comes, and he's being in trouble. Yes, Magnus doesn't do well against Yilmaz, but in other boards, Norway does great. We see that Param Masudlu has won, and we see that Amin Taba is also doing great. We see that Daneshwar Bardia is also better, and we see that Puya Idani is having at least fine position. How did Parham won against Sean Rodrigo? Yes, 94 is being the strongest. Bishop c3. Very complicated position, and now white is already being much better because of f4, f5 ideas, maybe h4, h5, b4, a4. Yes, Parham played really well and outplayed his opponent. Yes, great game by Parham Masudlo, and seems like Iran will not have any problems to win this match. Yes, we see that most likely Buya Idani will not win his game, but in other boards they are standing great. So Grishuk's Iran has all the chances to win this match. We see that Fabi doesn't have much, position is around equal, but his opponent Fernando Peralta doesn't have much time, and maybe Fabi can get something. Slowly, yes, and already Fabi is getting something. Wesley is doing slightly better. Again, Black is having all the chances and enough compensation, but I think Leandro Grisa is down on time. And Diego Flores is being better against Lenier Dominguez. What has happened is with Lenier in this position, he went rook d8. He could go queen before or queen a3. He didn't see or he didn't. Yes, I think it's fine. Like, of course, he saw it. It is white is doing better, but I don't think black is in big trouble. Yes, and he blunders. What did? Yes, he blundered f4. It is very interesting that Fernando Peralta had the round equal position, and he just went c5, and here he took. And of course, Fabi goes f4, and Fabi will win this game, no doubts. Fabi is going to win, and f4 has been already played. So this is some good news for US. And Levon Arena is being better. Game still goes on. He is better, but still some fight. We see that Ivan Shitko is fighting very well against Nadirbek Abdusatorov. Position remains around equal, maybe very tiny better for black for Ivan Shitko. Bologan Javov Sindarov position is very complicated, preferable for white, and Vohidov is being completely winning. Jordan is still being much better, but game goes on. Anish drew his game against Carlos Albornoz. Max Warmerdam is in trouble, and Erwin Lamy is being winning. So no doubts that Netherlands will win. So the main question is being with which score. And we already see that Gukesh has won his game against Aydin Suleimanli. Out of the opening, Gukesh got winning position. And we see that another game ended in a Germany-Montenegro match. Score is 1-1. In a slightly or much better position, Nikita Petrov agreed in a draw, or they repeated the position. And bad news for uh, Bundes team that team is completely lost against Denis Kadrich. Yes, if he just pushes d5, I think he's more than able to find d5 or queen g6. And remains another board. Svane Frederick against Rashkovic. I think Luka has all the chances to make a draw in this game. Yes, Australia against England. Bobby Cheng is fine. Michael Adams is winning. And Jones is much better. Yes, Nico Georgiadis, I like the way he's playing. And he's slowly outplaying uh, Laurent Fressinet. Mark Andrea Maurizi doesn't have much against Li Min Peng. And Etienne is having a slightly preferable position. So let's see how did Nico. Yes, Andy Berlin. Yes, this has been played in Benjamin Gledura against Felix Blofberger. And in this position, Queen C8 has been played by Blofberger. In his YouTube channel, he mentioned that he didn't like Queen C8, Queen B8 would have been stronger. And now we see that Bishop C8 by Laurent, Knight C4, Knight D7, D4, Queen E7. It is very obvious that already Laurent didn't know. F4, F5, just not letting even Bishop E6. Like to get. Yes, I'm not sure why Nico decided to have and to allow opponent to trade the rooks. He could keep both pair of rooks, and I think by keeping both pair of rooks, his attack would have been much stronger. Yes, rook d e1, and he goes f4. Yes, rook f3. Not sure why exactly rook f3, and yes, white is much better, and Etienne Bacro is doing fine, and Maxime Vacher-Lagrave is also much better. Yes, Luis Paolo Supi doesn't have problems against Alexander Predke. Alexander Fier Alexei Sarana position is complicated around equal, and Marcus Robert Bing is in some small trouble, and Velimir Ivic is in trouble again. Yes, we see that games are. Yes, only remaining game. Gabriel Sarksian is playing Tiger Hilar Person, and Gabriel is slowly getting some chances. Yes, in this position, Black could go c5, uh, but Bishop e8 has been played. Knight c5, Knight b6, e3, Knight d5, Knight a1, Knight c3, and Gabi will move the rook somewhere, probably to d2 or maybe d3 or even e1. But I don't like rook e1 because maybe four ideas can be possible. Yes, another 8 moves to play. Position is yes, Gabi has all the chances to get around equal position because opponent doesn't have much time. Let's hope for the best for our national team and let's move. Earlier it was much worse for Gabriel Sarksian. Knight b3. Gabi is sacrificing his exchange, and probably knight d1 will follow, and queen d1 is not possible. I guess queen takes g3, rook d1. And what's the position? We don't have access to engines, and maybe it takes and some move like, I don't know, queen maybe. Yes, knight d1, rook d1, and rook a8, just protecting the pawn on a5. Yes, interesting exchange sacrifice by Gabriel. So let's move forward. Yes, we see that on board one, Denis Martyov is better against Bogdan Daniel Deak. In board two, slowly Kazibek Nogerbek is getting chances, and Ramazan Jalmakhanov ended his game in a draw against Liviu Dieter Nisipianu. And we see that Ansat Aldiar is being slightly better because Black's rook on f4 is very awkwardly placed. And let's move to see. Uh, oops. Let's move to the women's section to see the games. Wow, 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 wow. Yes, I should say that chess.com works very heavily. Somehow I noticed. So we see that Bibisara Saubaeva has slightly preferable position. We see that Vaishali is being completely winning against Merwert Kamalidenova. And we see that Divya Deshmukh doesn't have problems against Ksenia Balabaeva. And we see that Vantiga Agrawal is also being completely winning against Alua Nurman. This game, Vaishali against Lidanova, because recently I lost. Knight c5, queen b6, knight a5. So yes, Estonia, Hungary. We see that uh, Juliana Terbe won already against Sofia Blochin, and also board two. Estonia doesn't do great. Yes, no, but Narva Rin, she is having winning position. And Armenia, China, we are having Elina Danilyan with the black pieces drew her game against Nishikun. We see that I think Lilith Magarchan is doing great against Jujiner. She is having a better position. Or am I? Yes, yes. Lilith Magarchan is having much better position. We see that Mariam Makarchan is having around equal position. And we see that Anna Sargsyan is being completely winning against Lu Mia Oi. Wow, wow. So far it is going great. Hopefully our women's team can keep this result because it is very impressive. Lilith on board one against Jujiner. Very very top player, has a much better position. Even if she wants, she can start trying to play for win. Board 2, Mariam Makarchan is having complicated position, but at least it's not worse for her. And the good news, Anna Sargsyan on board 4 is being completely winning. Hopefully she will, like, I guess something like maybe knight e6, but I'm not sure, knight e6. So it is interesting to see which move is finishing the game. 93, 96 also wins 93. Yes, and especially opponent has only 40 seconds. I'm sure Anna can win. So we are having Mongolia against United States. So I guess again it is hard to understand who is. Yes, Karisayip is in huge trouble, close to lost position. We see that Irina Krush, yes, doesn't have much, even maybe slightly. And Alice Lee is also being in trouble, or yes. It's very impressive that despite the rating difference, uh, Mongolia is doing great against US. So Georgia, Uzbekistan, board 1, we see that Afruza Hamdamova being slightly preferable against Nana Zagnidze. Board 2, Javakishvili doesn't have anything against Nilufar Yakuboeva. We see that Umida Umonova is being completely winning. If I'm yes, she. I think she won. Yes, she is completely winning, and Bela Hotenashvili is doing much better against Marjona Malikova. Poland, Turkey. Yes, complicated positions. Alexandra Maltsevska is better, and Alicia Slivitska, she is also doing great. Azerbaijan, Ukraine. Gunay Mamadzada is having a lost position against Yulia Osmak. Anna Ushenina, again, it is hard to guess. Yes, Anna Ushenina is being much better. Natalia books around equal position. And Inna Gabonenko, Hanim Balajeva also. Norway, Spain, we see that Sarah Hadem is winning. And in other boards, I can say that Monica Calzetta is being much better against Monica Machlik. Nurgul Salimova has won her game, and seems like Bulgaria stands fine at the moment. Okay, I think it's the time to move to Lichess. What are we having? Yes, game ended in a draw. So Gukesh has won. Abbasov Prague draw, and we see that Arjun is being close to winning, and Vidit didn't play precisely, and now it's around equal. Robert has won, and we see that Anton Korbov is trying for something, but most likely it will not Yes, Dingley Ryan game ended only Wei Li and Wei Yi. I apologize. Uh, let's move my camera to the other side. And Wei is being better. Wei is being better, and all other games ended in a draw. We see that Simon has won. We see that Bartel is losing. Bartel is losing against the late one Min. We see that Wojtaszek is also in huge trouble. I guess Vietnam will has all the chances, despite they are mm, almost no doubts that in this position, like it is already game over. Yes, Queen G3 is the strongest because really you don't have. Yes, this is over, and I think here Nguyen has all the win. Yes, it shows close to -4, and such a classy player like Nguyen will win. We see that Magnus managed to get equality. We see that now Erdogmus position is he improved his position. Anyway, he's having some problems, but it's not much. And Urkedal, he's having much better position, but he doesn't have much time. And yes, Amin also increases his advantage, and we see that Daneshwar is also much better, so no doubts that Iran will win today's match. Fabi has won. Uh, yes, Vesliso has around equal position. Flores is much better already against Lenier Dominguez, and Levon Aronian is probably winning against Sosa Thomas. So most likely and hopefully uh, US will win this match. Yes, now I think it's under control for Uzbekistan as well, and for uh, Netherlands also. Kadric has won. Kadric has won, and now Germany is in huge trouble because Svane Frederick should position, but like it's simply, I guess it's simply impossible. If you just take g takes f, g takes f, knight g7, and knight takes f5, bishop c1, this is the trick. But the question is, black doesn't have uh, problems. So let's say g takes f, I go there. I think this also should be fine, no? Yes. Okay, you go there, I go king f4, and let's say even this check, yes, rook c3. So this does not work, right? Bishop c1. Wow, it's very painful for Bundes team. And we see that Vidyugov, Kuibokarov ended in a draw. Cheng Bobby is slightly better. We see that Adams is having winning position, and Jones also. And we see that slowly Laurent Fressinet is getting his chances, and we see that most likely France will win this match. Wow. And we see that Gabriel eventually, his opponent didn't play well. And rook a8, queen g7, king f2. And Gabriel should find, yes, rook h2, very interesting move, no doubts. Yes, Gabriel can find this move. So g5 doesn't win, g5 also wins. Yes, and so far it is going well for our team. Earlier, Gabriel was in some trouble. So let's just see what about. Let's just see. Red K is having a round equal position. We see that Sarana is uh, slightly better. We see that Markus is lost, and we see that slowly Ivic is getting around equal position. Yes, Hilar Persson didn't play well after extra exchange, and now Gabriel should win. We see that what is happening in. Maybe this is not better at all for Sat LDR, or it is. No, it's not. It's not better for LDR and Sat. Black does not have problems. But earlier, this position with the rook on f4, it was that was not. Yes, but why did he push f4? He could just make any other move f4 and allowed rook a4. Yes, he blundered probably f4 rook a4. Position was fine, and now he's in some. So what about Garcia Rothstein? And we see Rothstein Cardoso. Gorstein is much better, close to winning. We see Avila against Nabati. Nabati is fine, and we see Posny ended his game in a draw against Valderrama. Chaparinov has won. Nadic is in huge trouble. What is happening? And then Stefansson Petrov game ended in a draw, and Petkov Momchil is also lost against Gretersson. So Chaparinov has won, but Iceland has all the chances to win because they are having two winning positions. And is playing. Banus is lost against Henriquez Viagra. Salinas is better against Prohashka. Uh, Vasquez is better against Antal. And Lopez against Pap, they are having round equal position. Fedosiev is probably completely lost against Sadora. Uh, Daniel, so Slovenia against uh, Philippines. Yes, it's completely lost. Demchenko is having equal position. We see that, oh, actually, I think Slovenia loses. Brkic, Maksimovic. Brkic is winning. Stojanovic, Martinovic, game ended in a draw. Levajic is much better, and Stevic as well. Vocaturo is winning, and Delgado Ramirez is having winning position against Lodici. Moroni has won, and Brunello is much better. Yes, Putinevicius against Henderson. White is being much better. Fluvia Kazakovsky around equal. Game ended in a draw. Lau Rusas de la Riva. And we see that another complicated position on board 4. Let's move to see. Yes, Arjun is already winning, and Vidit is round equal. Yes, it is round equal. Rapport has won, and Anton Korobov is trying, but most likely will not get any chance. And here we see that Vei is much better. Yes, we see that, of course, all depends on Le Quang against Duda game. If, but yes, I guess whenever Le Quang wants, he can force a draw. So most likely Vietnam will win against Poland. Magnus has some small technical issues, but no doubts Magnus will make a draw. We see that in other two boards, White is being much slightly better in Erdog Mustari and much better Urkedal Sanal. Yes, Amin will also win, and Daneshwar as well. Yes, Iran does. Caruana has won, and we see that Flores won against Lenier Dominguez. So US against Argentina score is 1-1, and we see that Levon Aronian is having winning position, but we see that here, yeah, I was not good. Before f5 position was fine, just going f6. So no doubt that Wesley will slowly at least achieve. Mhm. Yes, Nodirbek to Satorov is getting his chances. Sindarov has won, and Okidov has won. So Uzbekistan won already 2.5, and Nodirbek to Satorov is having better position. Van Forest has won, and no doubts Netherlands will win this match. I just want to briefly check the opening. Wow. Yes, usually here some b4, but knight f1, b5, of course. Quesada Perez, Luis Ernesto. Yes, very interesting idea by uh, Jordan One Forest. Instead of going, it was the same opening and same line what earlier Caruana had against Tin Jingao. And yes, instead of waiting with the knight on goes knight f1 and bishop e6 takes g4. Very interesting idea. I'm sure that this idea will find many followers. Yes, about let's move to check another matches. We see that let's move back. Let's one more time move back. Or yes, India has won, and Vidit is trying, but I think yes, unfortunately, David Anton is going to lose. Yes, Nagok with the black pieces managed to win against Radoslav Wojtaszek and against uh, Nodirbek Yakuboev. And what did Linear blunder? She blundered somewhere in the end. Yes, we left somewhere here. Rook c2, rook f2. But Linear knows Diego Flores very well since Linear earlier was playing for Cuba. Maybe d7, rook b2, and y. Yes. Yes, MVL won, and Maurizi also has winning position, and Georgiadis will. So most likely, Pelletier, Bacro game ended in a draw, so most likely Maurizi will win, and France will win against Switzerland. Yes, no doubts, Montenegro also will win, and Gabriel Sargsyan is already having much better position after time increment. So he played queen h1, and position is around 3 plus 3.6 in white's favor. Yes, it is very hard to imagine that something can go wrong for white in this position. Yes. And we see that Alexei Sarana is already winning. We see that Marcus has lost. So this is going to be very tough match for uh, Serbia because score will be 1-1. And I should say that earlier Ivic was completely lost. And let's go to see the women's tournament open. We see that Bibisara is almost winning. Vaishali is much better. Vantika is completely winning. Balabaeva is around equal position. So if let's say, which is very much possible, Bibisara wins, Vaishali also wins, Vantika also wins, all depends on Balabaeva Divya game. See that Anna Sargsyan, she won, and we are having Mariam Makarchan. Something went wrong in Mariam's game, and now she is in huge trouble. But I guess Lilith Makarchan is completely winning against Jujiner, if I'm not think is precise. Yes, it's just completely winning. Yes, I think no doubts Lilith will win this position. King f7, and maybe some other moves are also there, but King f7 just protecting the knight. I mean, pawn on e6, and Mariam, for some reason, didn't want to make a draw. Yes, we left somewhere here. She could just. Yeah, she was fine. She was fine, and she could just make a draw. But for some reason, she decided to play and played King e3 here. I'm not sure why exactly King e3, but the bishop. And now she is lost. So the match was even easier. If let's say, imagine if Mariam Makarchan would have ended her game in a draw, then Lilith could simply force a draw. But now Lilith needs to win. But position is so winning. I don't have any doubts, and especially after time increment. And we see that Yulia Osmak won, and now Sheninia is much better. And we see in other two games, position is around equal. Yes, Sweden to Germany, 3.5 half. We see that Spain, they are, I think it's like not very obvious much. And, maybe Korobov is getting his chances. Korobov is getting his chances, and Magnus. Yes, I mean, Taba is also completely winning, and two other boards are around equal, but I'm having some doubts that Daneshvar can win, despite engine is showing around equal. Yes, Levon is being completely winning. Uzbekistan already won. Netherlands will win. Germany. So King e4 has been played, but I guess just the knight f5 does not really work, but it works, I guess, or not. Knight f5 just works. Because bishop c1, knight g3 check is there. So England is doing great, one and a half, half, and yes, in fourth board, Jones is winning, and board two, David Howell is in some small trouble, but I think he will achieve achieve a draw. Yes, Alexis Arana will win. Score will be round equal. Yes. And we see that Gudmundur has won against Arkady Naidic, and it means that Garia is losing because you just go knight c6, you sacrifice somehow your knight. Yes, but this was not really expected that Momchil Petkov will lose, and where he went wrong actually. Yes, it is very obvious that tradition is around equal. Oh, he blundered. He blundered. Yes. Ivanchuk lost on time or just f6 or what? Or just f6. F6 takes knight c6, queen d5. But slowly, Velimir Ivic is getting his chances. I think he's not worse at all. And Ansat Aldear is being in some trouble. Let's move also to see. Hopefully, uh, Armenian men's team with the huge efforts of Gabriel Sargsyan can win today's match. Uh, yes, yesterday didn't work well, but now, of course, Gabriel bounced back in a very complicated game. He won. He's hopefully will win. He's having great position. Like earlier, it was showing close to -2. and now it is plus 3 and more. Hopefully he will win, and Armenian men's team will win against Sweden. And I just wanted to see Lilith Makarchan is playing against only this, and we see that no doubts. I don't have any doubts Lilith Makarchan will win, and this is some historical match for our women's team. Uh, let's say I don't remember when our women's team last time managed to win against China. And yes, Black is completely winning. They are threatening G1, and checks aren't really working.